There we go. Stream's up and running, I think. This is going to be, per usual, the slightly awkward tech moment while I ensure that everything's set up correctly. And since it's been a while since I streamed, I actually had to redo my entire setup from the beginning, essentially. So something's more than likely broken. Now I'm going to turn on the sound on my other device here. And it seems to be working. That's cool. And it seems there's music playback as well. So that's all a major success. I'm gonna write this little tweet. Always such a professional production, starting out with me doing not the live stream for the first 2 minutes, but that's the way it goes when there's all of one person running the show. Yeah, that's a good tweet if I ever saw one. Okay, let's see who's in here. Alex, hello. I love how this says that I'm offline, which is patently not true. Let's just ignore the Twitch website. What do they know about anything? Yes, as you can tell, up in the corner up here, we're doing something called Mojang again. This is my third one, I think. I did the first one in 2013 or something like a long time ago. And then another one a year ago, maybe? I would have been clever to look these things up beforehand. Oh, hey, Mads. And Beauties. Hello. So there's a website for this whole thing, which I probably should put in the description here or something, but all in all, in good time. So I'll be making a video game here for the coming day or two. I think we're going to end up around this time on Thursday, so a little bit less than 24 or 48 hours, I think. We'll see. I'm running my own schedule here, so we'll see where we end up. I think the Mojang people have picked a theme somehow. I think I don't want to give it away for them, so I'll save that. I don't know if they're streaming yet. We'll see. Seems they are not. They are not. Does my stream work on the website, I wonder? Failed to load video. That's not good. That's actually kind of bad. Might be because of my computer being a little bit aggressive. Oh, missing plugin. That's excellent. I'll try a third web browser then. We'll see how this works. It's not intended for you to actually see what I'm doing at this very moment. Okay, that's something. Oh well, we are, I'll just do this myself then. So I have an idea what I'm going to make. Let's see, I'm going to bring up, we're going to do Paint or we're going to do Photoshop. I don't know. Is snakes a theme or do I just like snakes? Well, I had a little while to think about what I wanted to make, and I decided I want to make a game about a sea serpent, which I guess is a kind of snake. Maybe. I'm not a snake expert as such, but it's close enough as far as I consider. So, if I press this button, Hey, look at that. Did you see the fancy fade and everything? So very expensive. Hello, Harry. Okay. See my nice brushes. Where's the one I want? Is that one? No. Is this one? No. I bought a set of brushes for Photoshop because I always spend so much time just setting up a brush that I like for quick sketches, figuring like I'll buy these brushes, they seem nice, and I can get started much faster when I'm just going to draw some stupid little thing. And this is exactly what happens every time. Just me trying brushes for an extended period of time. So anyway, I'm going to pitch you what it is I'm hoping to make here, these 48 hours or whatever. So there is going to be a level. In the level, there is going to be water. And if you can't see, or if like the bit rate's messed up or anything like that, please tell me, because this is all new and all weird, and I haven't tried this before. So there's going to be an ocean. Looks like this. Very blue, very nice. In this ocean, there is going to be a snake, a sea serpent, if you will. It's going to be that color, maybe. It's going to be about so wide. And this is what you, as the player, will be controlling. Like that, maybe. And then you're like partially under. I should have drawn that in a separate layer. Here we go. Kind of like that. Got a cute little nose too. That's nice. I didn't realize that my erasers were going to be crappy now that my brushes are nice. It's never good, is it? Alex is telling me to use a new layer. All in good time. So your little snake friend will be kind of underwater like that. That's the idea. And you'll be like swimming around, kinda, sort of semi sticking up from the water. I'm not entirely sure about the perspective. I think logically it's going to be top down. It's not going to be from the side, that's for sure. And then in the water, there are going to be boats. Boats are this particular boat color. The boats are maybe that size, and I shouldn't be drawing them on the transparent layer. Can snakes swim? Yes, they can. I have seen it myself. And besides, this is a sea serpent monster thing. They can definitely swim. Boats, kind of like that. Or I suppose there would be more like from the top, kind of, and slightly, and then with like a mast or something like that. Kinda. And then there's maybe multiple boats, and there's maybe a little island somewhere that you have to swim around. Islands look like this, I think. And yeah, it remains to be seen exactly how this is all gonna like actually work. We'll figure that out as we go. And then you'll be so just swimming around bumping into the boats, and maybe there'll be little sailors that are kind of falling out of the boats. That's my dream. That's my main objective with this game, with little sailors in the water. oh, help me. And you can eat them maybe. That's the general idea we're going for here. Yeah, Mads, that's the deal. I only get one quality for the stream because I'm not a Twitch partner. So the way I stream it is the way you have to receive it, and I set it fairly high because I don't like people with slow internet. I guess if you're lucky, they might give you the quality adjustment anyway. And then I think it stays until you stop streaming or something like that. It has happened to me in the past, but I don't know. I think it also depends on like how many viewers you have and how much like bandwidth they have to spare and stuff like that. So this is a pretty good game design document. Actually, I'm going to show you the one I did earlier when I was explaining this to my to Nicholas, who was going to make some sounds for this. This is what I drew for him. I mean, it's it's kind of on the same level. Like, it's fairly similar. I do like this one a little bit better. We'll save this somewhere on my desktop. That's a good place for it. Game design document. Sea Snake is the project name for this. I have decided that it will be Sea Snake. So my plan is to use Unity, which is something I haven't been streaming with before, but I've been toying with it a little bit in my, should we say, offline time? So I think we'll be good. The plan is that, or I guess the best place to start is to set up the physics stuff for the snake, and we'll just work our way from there. So we'll just make an empty game object. Now the annoying thing is, before, my development environment was one screen. So I could put the live streaming stuff on my second screen and everything would be fine. You can't really see my hands, but imagine me gesturing outside of the cropped circle. So I have a primary screen that's right there, and I have a secondary screen that's right over here. Now, since I'm using Visual Studio and Unity, they are big enough that they kind of need their own screens. So now I have nowhere to put my live streaming crap. All these problems you run into being famous and important. Not actually though, but anyway, this is Unity, and if I forget to switch it over so you can see what I'm doing, just shout at me in the chat and I'll fix it. Yes, this means I will be coding C#. I like C#. It's a lot like Haxi, actually. So we'll make an empty game object and we'll name it Snake. Is that a good name? I think it is. Serpent is cooler, but Snake is like nice and terse. Where are you, Snake? Oh, it's in the center of everything. That makes sense. And then on this object, we'll add, suppose we'll need a mesh renderer, maybe not immediately, and a mesh filter, and then one for like setting up the actual snake, which is going to be a snake controller for now. Then maybe physics stuff, but I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work yet. So we'll figure it out as we go along. Yeah, Staten General in the chat is saying that there's a plugin for OBS to switch. OBS Studio at least actually does it for you. But this is the view I hope to have the most. So you can see the Unity viewports and you can see the code, which is where most of the stuff is going to be happening. So I think that should be fine. This looks really gnarly in the scaling. See if I can do something about that. So OBS is not super great with different DPI screens, but I'm not going to be using the auto switch thing. I don't think so. We'll see. But it might make sense. I don't know. So snake controller. Let's look at the physics stuff. I think that's the place to begin. Actually, add physics 2D. Crap. I'm not sure if this is going to require me to have the snake be made of like multiple parts. That is probably the way it's going to have to be. That's interesting. Let's make it a box collider. I don't even know if you can do multiple colliders like this. We shall find out. Turn off the annoying camera thing. And then rigid body 2D. Auto mass. Okay, sure, whatever. I'll try and run this, see what happens. This should fall. It did. That's good. That's progress. Can I make it always show the physics collider? Probably not. Okay, I'm gonna get something to collide with in here. Just a empty game object, and we'll give that a box collider and just put it down here. See what that looks like. And now it's looking at the chat instead of paying attention. So that's looking promising. I'm just gonna try and put this on an angle to make sure that it's actually interacting properly with everything. Not having them show up is super duper annoying. Here we go. Yeah, that seems to be working, so that's good. But if I want to have multiple segments with like joints between them, I think I'm going to have to do like multiple objects within like child objects for the snake thing. So this is a, where are they? Capsule collider, circle collider. Let's Google this because this is something I need to work out. Unity always show colliders. There we go. Probably 2D colliders. This is from 2012. So it's in here. Gizmos. Always show colliders. Thank you, Unity. And yes, I did turn on some music in the background. Hope that's not disturbing anyone. See if the website actually works. Doesn't seem like it's working. It may also be because of reasons. It'd be nice if people who actually came to the website could see the streams, but whatevs. Mads is saying, for the snake, you can just make one parent object called snake, then make a bunch of sprite game objects and hinge 2D them together. Yeah, that's the plan. So it's going to be like a series of these, basically, all fitting together. The question is, should the snake head... That should probably be a physics object too. That's probably the best way to do it. Yeah, and the head could be... It's okay. I'm gonna draw this so you can follow along at home. New document. Oops. Hey, Pepperball. That sounds like a Danish kind of candy. Is that right? So the physics are going to be like the head is going to be a circle. Beautiful, incredibly round circle. And then the next segment down along the body is going to be a box. That. And these can be probably, I'd figure out how long these are going to be, but, and then that's going to end with another circle. And then the next segment after that is just going to be the same thing repeated. Like a box, and then a circle. So that's going to mean even if this rotates, the circle is always going to be the thing. Like the corners of the box are never going to be poking out anywhere. It's possible that I'll have to make, like if the circle, I should be drawing these with the circle tool because this is not really. So if the circle's like this, the box might need to be slightly smaller just to make sure that it never snags on anything. It's beautiful that I made them the same color. That's really, really readable. Do it that way. So it might have to be something like this. Or it's exaggerated a little bit. Something like that to make sure it never snags on anything. But I also want a fixed width for the entire thing so that if it's like slithering along, it's not getting stuck on anything. We'll see. Pepperball is Dutch for a single grain of pepper. It's like a peppercorn. I'm learning things. This looks vaguely phallic, but let's not. Let's pretend we didn't see that. So on my snake, I'll name this snake head. And we'll get rid of the box collider. Go away. Circle collider can be centered again. And then we got to figure out a way to render this, but that's all in due time. Now we'll make another empty game object, and that's going to be snake segment. Box collider and a circle collider, and I suppose it's going to need a rigid body 2D thing. Constraints, interesting. We don't need those. And once I've had this all figured out, I'm gonna... I don't know if it's smarter to build it kind of sideways or up, as it were, but we'll see. To make this more interesting, I have no plan whatsoever. So the snake segment is going to be kind of like that. See what happens if we just run this. It's a little bit funky that I can't actually select that, but it's probably because it doesn't have anything rendered. It worked. That's good. Going to be exactly -2. Then it's going to have some kind of joint, probably a hinge joint. Don't want it to collide with whatever it's connected to. Anchor is going to be at 2. That's a really small number. Why are you doing this to me? What is this even? Local space anchor from the connected rigid body. Okay, so that's just if I change this, it changes on that one too. That's cool. So this is the hallmark of floating points. Super, super tiny number. 5.9 times 10 to the power of -8. That's really small. Okay, so now we have to move these as a unit from now on. They are attached. That's good. And the head is spinning independently. Cool. I think I'm just gonna make this programmatic from the get-go, because just setting up one of these was annoying enough. Not entirely sure how that is going to work. We'll make a prefab out of this. We'll see. We're all beginners here. So in my little snake controller, I'll have a public, I guess that's a transform then? Or can I make it? No, it's going to be a transform. So I'm going to just make it instantiate the prefab inside of itself. So, okay, you can't see what I'm doing now, but I'm setting up the snake controller. It's going to give it a reference to the snake segment. And when this starts, we're going to have a public integer called num segments. It's going to be, let's say, 5. It's a nice, good number. And here we're going to loop. Yeah. And we're going to instantiate the segment prefab. To game object, which is going to be this game object. Is that not cool? Cannot convert from Unity Engine game object to Unity Engine transform. Oh. Like that. So this should immediately create 5 little things inside of itself. It did. Position is a little bit messed up though, but we're getting there. By the way, if you press the button to follow me on Twitch, it will make a cool sound and I'll have to say your name out loud. You should try that. Assuming that part didn't break, of course. Things have a tendency to do that. But then we'll find out. Because I don't know yet. Okay, so the segment. This is going to give back what? An object. Really? Is there an... How does that work? Because I want that to be typed. Can I... I'll have to look this up. Oh, so if I make this a rigid body, it will make my life much easier. Because that's exactly what I want. Coolio. Type mismatch. Oh. And this should still work exactly the same. Yeah. Cool. The following thing is not working. I am incredibly disappointed. Ding dong. Yeah, the following thing is not working. That is entirely correct. It's giving me errors. I was checking this before I started the stream, and it's like, oh, it's making requests to the server. That's cool. That means it's working. But the server is returning, it never occurred to me to look at that, and it's returning error bad request. No client ID specified. So it's probably not super hard to fix, but it's not something I'm going to be doing at this very moment. That's for sure, because I have a game to make. So I'm sorry, Kogo and Kiris and Jacob 03, Jacob 03, that you didn't get to make the sound. I'll see if I have time later to fix it up. So that's a bunch of segments created. So obviously, this is not what we're really shooting for. Presentation-wise, ideally, they should be placed a little bit better. So I'm going to start with one segment, and we're going to try to get that in the correct position. So segment, transform, position. We actually do local position. That's going to be easier on us. We'll just make that 0. See what that happens. That is, oh, right, because I have to change this number. That's the thing I'm having a little bit of a hard time getting used to with Unity. That's not what I expected would happen, though. Oh, it's because it's not parented yet. Let me do that first. So this will make it a child to the snake head, so to speak. This seems more like what I expected. If you put a segment in here, actually, I think I'm gonna flip this around so that 0 is the one without the circle on it. And that is going to happen by offsetting that to over there. If that's on 2 exactly, that should be fine. Right, and that the segment itself is getting stuck because I think it's because it has the hinge joint on it that is not actually attached to another object, which I think just attaches it to the world. That's what it seems like anyway. Plus, so now I guess we'll have one here called public float segment width. For now, I'd rather stick this in the snake segment itself, but and that is going to be segment width times I, and then 0 and 0. Now, I've never used the hinges in Unity before, so this is going to be new to me. But if we go segment, get component, hinge joint 2D, we can maybe hinge. What did they call it? Connected body. So if it's the first one, it's going to be the body of this object. And after that, it's going to be the last body that we saw. So segment. That's going to do something. I like how they spawn. Like, this looks entirely correct. I don't know if you can see my mouse pointer over here, but it is connected to the snake head. Oh, right. The joint thing is in the wrong position. I don't know if that's what's making it behave badly, but the anchor is going to be at 0. Connected anchor. Unity, stop being drunk. You have no idea where the connected anchor is because it's not connected to anything. Okay, whatever. We'll see if this works. Kawin is saying that it's better to call transform set parent instead of doing the way I did. That is entirely possible. Can you tell me why? Okay, they seem to actually stay attached now. That's good. So let's do a few more, see what happens. Set the number of segments to 5. And then I'm going to turn off gravity, which I should have done a while ago. That seems to be working actually a lot better than I thought it would be. Wow. Would you look at that? Beautiful. Such a beautiful snake. Oh, I know what's happening. It's because these objects are children to the head. So if I move this, they all come along with it. But if I grab the last one, okay, that's not what I thought would happen. Oh, that just makes the hinge be all weird. I see. That's cool still. I'm gonna turn off gravity. Or am I? It's kind of useful to have a preview, sort of, because there's nothing else. We'll try. Gravity is off. I have a little box here. I guess I can use that just to mess with it. That's cool. I wonder if I can also... This is something that also makes you can see the segments pretty well. So I'll see how dense I need to make them. Someone is messaging me. Oh, That's Nicholas. He's made sounds already. That man is a wizard. My coffee is really cold. It's also, what, 2 hours old at this point? I'm pretty happy with this. Bonk, bonk, bonk.
Skatter.
Nej, det är lugnt. Look at that beautiful snake. So what I want to do now is make it so I can adjust the size and length of the segments. Programmatically, which should not be a huge thing. So let's make a. I can't remember which view I have you on. Yeah, you're on the right one. You can see what I'm doing. Public, float, segment. Let's rename these. So this can be segment length. And this could be segment width, because that makes a little bit more sense. You'll see in a moment. So I think they're 1 right now. Let's say we want to make them 0.5. And Unity will pick those up. Segment length 2, segment width 0.5. So the question is, should I be like resizing these little collider things using code? Might be complicated. We'll see. So what I want to do is, once I've set the position, I want to go. So we have a circle, which is going to be segment, get component, circle, collider 2D, and then circle, see what this has. Funny properties. Radius, that's the one. I don't know if I can just set that. That'd be practical. So that's going to be the segment width, and then var rect, which is going to be segment get component circle. No, that's a box collider 2D. Rect size. So that is going to be, X is going to be the segment length, and that's going to be the segment width. And then I have to move the hinge as well. No, I don't, because that's going to be at 0, 0 always. That's practical. Now this isn't going to change the head of the snake. Apparently not the... That's looking fairly promising already. So the head is bigger now, as you can tell. But the tail segments are a little bit more the way I wanted them to be. So you can go away. So head is going to be get component circle collider 2D. This is going to set the size of the head of the snake. It might be that we want to have that be a different radius later, but we'll see. So now I can, let me put you so you can see what I'm doing, like that. So in Unity, I can set it to have like 32 segments instead and have them be one long. That's very, something went wrong with the head, I think. Just keep them at 2 for now. That works. Put them at 3. What happens then? That does not work. Box collider size 2. Oh, right, that's what I set it to. That makes sense. It is colliding the way it should be. Make this box a little bit bigger for now. It's annoying when they kind of get stuck inside of it. So, question is, if I set the segment width to like 0.25, that also seems to be working. It's just the segment length is somehow not correctly implemented. Let's see. So the head itself seems, well, there's not much that can go wrong with that. Oh, I have to tweak the positions of them as well. I get it. So the box collider needs to be offset to half of the width. Rect center or something like that. Obsolete. Offset. So that's going to be segment length divided by 2 and then 0. And the circle is going to be at segment length, I think. We'll see if that works. Seems like it did. I'm just on fire today. So that should allow me to make the segments quite a bit shorter, like 0.46, nice round number. This will give it a slightly smoother appearance. It is also entirely possible that I'll change these joints so that they try to straighten themselves out a little bit. So it's not as, because these, like when it's folding over, it looks more like a chain than anything else. It doesn't look particularly organic, but it's something. I think it's time to put this in version control. Snake. Physics. Creation. Push. So that's about an hour of programming. That's pretty good. Not amazing, but it's something. So I'm thinking we should get into rendering stuff, get some graphics up on the screen. So now I'm going to try to remember what I named my other project so I can steal some code from it. Here we go. Geometry draw. Boop, 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 boop. Can't remember what I am actually using my canvas mesh renderer for, but we'll add that as well, I guess. Make it happy. Cool. So the question now is, do I want to re-render the snake all the time, or do I want to render it as actual segments? I'm thinking segments is probably the way to go, at least for now, until we can change it later. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So, snake controller. Into all of these objects, then I want to draw the obviously the first one's going to be a little bit different because that's just going to have a circle. So I guess we'll start with that. Geometry draw. It's going to be at center, and it's going to have a radius of segment width. It's going to have a color, which we can just put up here as well. Is that it? Probably needs to be a game object. So if we run this now, the first one should have 3 vertices, 2 triangles. That's not much. C depth. So this is a little thing I wrote that draws a circle programmatically, but sometimes draws really small circles. So we'll see if we can, yeah, here we go. Because it makes some assumptions about the scaling of things. I want to take a look at the mesh for this. That's pretty reasonable. I'll just put that to I wonder. Let's step through this. I want to see what's going on here. Come on, Unity. Here we go. What? Why are they 0? That makes very little sense to me. I mean, really? Okay, so if I make them not be constants, is that some weird thing that's going on with that? Sometimes the debugger doesn't actually start things. As it should in Unity. That was 1 before, right? Yeah. Attach to Unity and play. Like this. Stop, start, and try again. I suppose I could also not do it this way and just attach to Unity and then run Unity, and it should work. And actually have a breakpoint. Sometimes. It's not easy being human. So it works out that it's going to need 3 vertices. That's not really. Base count 16 times the vertex density. Where's base count inside of here? Who coded this crap? It's a lot of parentheses. Considering I need exactly none of them. That's more the way I had in mind. That looks like it could work. Probably boost this up slightly. The way that the fact that it would ever draw a circle with 3 vertices in it is just stupid, because that is by any definition very far from a circle. So we have, this is going to run on like desktop computers. So we have plenty of vertices to play with. That's pretty good for now. It is also twice the size it needs to be, but that's entirely fixable. That's alarming, because I was already dividing it by 2. That was the wrong one. I was in fact not dividing it by 2. That makes more sense. I can get behind that. That looks perfectly correct, and you can see it here as well. That's good. It's not the color it needs to be, because I haven't, like, it doesn't even have a material at this point. I don't think that's why it's hot pink. That is entirely fixable. So once all of this crap is done, we go segment game object, and then we draw the circle. I suppose you could just use the circle position, like circle offset X. We might as well put circle offset Y in here as well, and circle radius. That's probably a smarter way of doing it, actually. Head offset X, head offset Y, head radius. And we don't need that. All errors have to be fixed. Okay, fine. I can... What is geometry draw? That is a class I wrote myself. It just makes a mesh, essentially. I can draw circles and rectangles and donuts. And now it is complaining because my snake segment doesn't have a mesh renderer and a mesh filter. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful snake. I want this to be a circle from now on. I don't like the box. Physics 2D circle collider. And we'll make it bigger like that. Whoop. Actually, it looks pretty cool. It's a little bit floatier than I expected it to be, which is maybe something we'll have to take into consideration. Because there is another option, and that is to redraw the mesh of the body every frame, which would let me do stuff like, because you can, I don't know if you can see what the live stream's showing. Yeah, you can see that it's like stretching. If I do this, you can see the segments come apart, which once you see the connecting bits, it is fairly obvious that that's not the way it's supposed to be. But if I was just drawing between the dots, it would look much smoother and nicer. It is also entirely possible that this will be impossible to control when it's this long with this many segments, but we will find out all in due time. So let's put this in version control again. Snake drawing started. but let's draw that box anyway, just to see what it looks like. So it's geometry draw rect, segment, no, segment, and then we have the rect offset X. Actually, I think the centered one here is better. How did I implement that? That's probably the one we want. We'll see. Rect size X, rect size Y, snake color, run. That looks correct. Beautiful animal. Doesn't look particularly organic, but something. Okay, let's get the shader in here. What is the name of that shader, I wonder? Oh, hooray. So I need, we'll make a material. Also need to kind of organize this a little bit, but well, one thing at a time. Actually, let's just make it so we don't even really need the color if it's just going to be one color, but what the hell? So the snake head is going to have a public material, and we're just going to set that to, I keep forgetting which view I have you guys on, but that's a good one. It's going to be snake material. We run this now. The snake has a material, and we can mess with that like so. So that's good. We'll just do something. A good snake color going here in Photoshop. I'll just take that. It's a little bit too bright though. This is clearly very important to get the snake color just right. There we go. Beautiful. It's not very interested in moving, which is a little bit surprising to me. Angular drag. Let's try turning that off. I wonder why it has a very slight angular drag to begin with. There's probably a good reason for this. Bad looking snake, really. There's a helicopter outside of my office somewhere. I think it's the apocalypse. So committing this, drawing the full snake, also with material now. Nice. I'm gonna go get coffee or something. We'll see what I can find. I'll just write it out here. Look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.